The thing that I love specifically about flying is the first class experience, because every airline challenges every other airline to one-up their service. And that's the main thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to my first class experience, was the service itself. So, first of all, I flew from London and I flew out to JFK in New York. And this leg of the flight was British Airways. And oh my God, I've never felt more fucking proud to be British, because that was one of the best experiences of my life. The thing about first class is that they take care of you on every single fucking step of your journey. I arrive at the airport, they have the British Airways first class check-in away from the regular check-in area. And I look over and it's this beautiful, like, wood glazed area, and they don't let you in unless you can present them with your passport and prove you're a first class customer. And then you go in, and so I arrive maybe 6 hours early, and I have this heavy ass check bag that doesn't have wheels, so I'm just lugging that around. I think, God, I'm gonna have to carry this around until my gate opens in like 4 hours. Do I take a nap or something? But of course, in first class, you can check your baggage in immediately. I just went in and they said, oh yes, that'll be wonderful, sir. It doesn't have any lithium-ion batteries in it. And I said, no, it should be all fine. And so, yeah, 6 hours before it began, and a good 4 hours before the check-in would normally have opened, they just took my bag off me anyway. And they said, no worries, sir, you head right on inside. And so I took my carry-on, again, went through security, and then the experience really, really began. Now, in Terminal 5, they have the 2 British Airways lounges. There's one lounge that I can't remember the name of, which is for business class, and then opposite you have the Concorde Lounge, which is for first class only. Okay, how many alcohol did I drink? Jesus Christ, I was drinking a worrying amount of alcohol. I walked into the Concorde Lounge, and immediately it's got like beautiful, sort of very quiet, soft music playing. You have a lady at the front who takes your carry-on off you, and she says, don't worry, I'll look after this. And as soon as I walk in, I see 2 things. In front of me, you have a sleeping room, and I thought, oh fuck, I'm gonna need that. And then to my right, you have a la carte fine dining, all for free. And I thought, oh God, where do I begin? And so I thought, okay, you know what? I'm hungry. I'll sleep after this. I'm gonna go get some food. And so I walk in, and then this beautiful waiter welcomed me in and immediately presented me with a menu. And he was like, would you like a cup of tea, sir? And I was like, oh yes, please. And I was sat there sipping my tea. I had this like bacon chop with fried eggs, and it was just really fucking good. I sat there and I just ate my food. And you've got all of these like affluent, like sort of rich people walking around. And I was like, hell am I doing here? I felt so out of place, because I was like, you know, I was wearing like a hoodie and some ripped jeans and like some really, really, really cheap shoes. Like my comfy shoes are like 12-pound Adidas trainers. And so I was just wearing those. I don't want to wear no fancy shoes. I just wanted something comfy. So I just sat there, I was eating my food, and it was wonderful. And every single time your tea gets slightly low, they immediately come over and refill it, and I was like, thank you very much. And then obviously my dumbass is just sat there waiting for them to come and give me the bill, and I realized, wait, it's free! And so I got up and I left. And then I went to the sleeping room, because I'm dead tired at this point. I want to be awake when I get on the plane. And so what I did was I went to the sleeping room, and it says on the front, it says, go to the front desk if you want to book a slot. So I walk up to the front and I'm like, hi, how you doing? Can I use the sleeping room? And they were like, yes, of course, sir. And they write down my name, and they write down, he's going to be in here from this time till this time. And they say, okay, when would you like us to wake you up? And I was like, you're gonna wake me up, okay? I was like, my flight leaves at like 9:50. Can you wake me up at 9? And they were like, absolutely, sir. Would you like us to wake you up with a cup of tea? And I was like, yes. And then I still couldn't believe like how much was being done for me. And then I had to really think about how much I paid for all of this. And I thought, you know what? This actually isn't so ridiculous. When you look at the price of first class, you're like, that's fucking extortionate. And then you go through the whole experience, and it's like, you know what? This is actually fair. And inside you have these, I don't know if anyone's ever seen these before. They're called like, it's like a metro nap. It's this weird like curvy bed with a big sort of dome on top. And you just lie in there and you pull the dome over your head so that it darkens it. And then you can turn on a number of like sleep CDs, and it says like, activated, enjoy your metro nap. And then it starts playing this audio of a man who's like, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice and descend into a wonderful, relaxing sleep. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And I wound up getting a couple good hours of sleep, which was nice. After that, they woke me up with my cup of tea and I was like, right, off I go. And so I went down to my gate, I got up into the cabin. And the first thing that I'm struck with is like, there are only 8 seats. There are only 8 seats in first class. And so you sit in this beautiful, wide chair. It's very soft, very plush. And you have 3 windows to yourself. And so immediately I'm like, and I get my carry-on in, and I'm just like kind of sat in the chair, and I'm like, what the fuck? Slack! Shut up! And now this is the absolute highlight of my entire trip. Immediately, when I sit down, the most polite, energetic, and most wonderful man. It was this bald guy, and he came out and he said, Hi, great to meet you. I'm gonna be head of service tonight. How are you doing? Can I get you something to drink? And I was like, something to drink? And he was like, we have Dom Perignon on board. Would you like some champagne? I was like, yes, please. I sat there sipping my champagne and everything, and sooner or later, plane takes off. Thing is, though, I'm used to economy flights where you just sit there and get left alone for 12 hours, and you're paying to just be on the plane. First class, however, no. They will not leave you alone, and this is a good thing. So the first thing that happens is immediately they present me with a menu for, dinner. And I just start looking through it, and the food selection they've got is like beef shoulder. They started with canapes, right? I can't even fucking remember what they were. I'm gonna look this up. Okay, never mind, I can't find it. But anyway, they had these canapes, and one of them was like salmon roe, which normally I would never fucking eat because it's fucking seafood and it's from Britain. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I just devoured it, and it was really good. And I was like, shit, I guess I'm starting to like seafood. And so I started having all these different things like, ooh, I'll have a bit of that. I think one of them was like radish leaf or something like that, and I was like, and I was eating these canapes with my delicious glass of wine, and then Sonny Briscoe, hello, welcome Briscoettes.
A few inches later.
Welcome everyone. So anyway, back to the story. So, I ordered all of my food, and I think in the end I wound up getting a cauliflower soup to start, and then I had ox cheek for lunch. The cauliflower soup specifically, it wasn't much to look at, but it was so perfectly creamy.
Nice.
So beautifully seasoned. I genuinely think that if I had any more of it, my heart would have stopped. It was fantastic. And they made that on a plane. So when I had the cauliflower soup, the lovely bald man that I was talking about came over and he said, hello, thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying your food. Can I get you anything to drink? And I said, well, what would you suggest? He was like, well, we have a very, very nice wine list. Was that food free? You bet your fucking ass it was free. And I had no idea where to go. The wine list was long. And so I had no idea what to check. And so I said, well, what would you recommend? He's like, now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't drink, but one of my co-workers, he does. So I'll go and get him instead, all right? And so he went and he got this other member of the first class attendants who was also bald, but he came over and he said, all right, so what I'm gonna give for you is this wine, which sort of, so, and he mentioned specifically the shape of the glass. He was like, and I sat there and I waited a little bit and I tried it and it was fucking beautiful. And I just sat there and I sipped it, I had my soup, and then after that, you wouldn't believe it, when I had my ox cheek, the guy came back over and he said, okay, so for this dish, I would really recommend this different wine. And I was like, oh, like I just couldn't believe that I was being treated in such a wonderful way. Who would have thought that spending a load of money on a first class ticket entitles you to a really beautiful experience? I think I had like ice cream and something else for dessert, and he said, and this is a white dessert wine for this. And I was like, how much fucking wine are you gonna put in my body? And I think it was at this point that I started just silently sobbing to myself, because I was like, I can't believe how lucky I am, and I can't believe that I've come as far as to be able to enjoy such an incredible experience. And I felt thankful to be alive. I felt thankful to have spent the last year working as hard as I did to be able to deserve something like this. I just sat there and I was like, and I assumed that maybe the first class attendants are used to that because they just left me alone and let me cry a little bit, which was quite nice. So then after that, I decided, well, you know what? I'm quite sleepy, so I'm going to see what this experience is like. I got up and he said, it's like he knew. The first class guy was like, are you planning on getting some sleep, sir? And I said, I said, yes, I'm just going to the bathroom. And so I went to the bathroom, and of course, in first class, they give you pajamas.
Nani?
They give you a brand new set of pajamas, these beautifully soft, gray, moisturizing pajamas. And so it was kind of nice. It was like being back in school, because you walk out and everyone is wearing the same pajamas. It's like they're wearing school uniform. And they give you free pajamas and a little amenity kit full of like toothpaste and facial mist and lip balm and fucking face cream and deodorant and shit like that. And I was like, I was in the bathroom, I was freshening up, doing my skincare, making sure I was all nice and fresh, got changed, got my pajamas. And then I came back and he had made my bed for me. He had made my bed for me, and he obviously in first and business class it fully reclines into a bed, right? And so he reclined the chair into a bed fully flat and put a little fucking flower on the pillow. And I was like, oh God. I couldn't believe how lucky I was. And so I just sat there and I just got all cuddled up, and I put my eye mask on, put my headphones on, and started listening to some sleep music. And then I press a little button, and instead of having to put the windows down manually, they just go zzzz, and down they go. And then I fell into a really blissful sleep, about 4 or 5 hours of good quality sleep. And then I woke up, and immediately they were like, "Hello, good morning, sir. Would you like some breakfast?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love some breakfast." And they just treated me to another lovely meal, and with a nice cup of tea and everything. It's like you wake up and they just know. They were like, "All right, one of them's awake. Let's go and get him some food. Let's go and get him a cup of tea." And I was like, oh.